Hey everyone, it's Libby from maighstirtarot. Absolute pleasure to have you along with me today. So thank you for your guides, my guides, and the universal energies. Having a bit of an international day today. I will get back to a few of you have asked about particular races in the US. Let me have another look at the Sherrod Brown versus Bernie Morano race because I got the names terribly wrong the other day. The guides do know who I'm talking about, but I am wondering whether I did a bit of a Cash Peters. Cash did a quick snippet on one of his videos the other day saying he draws the two little characters and sends them on a journey, but he actually got his two little characters mixed up on one of his readings. So I'll get back to that again. Um, Monday. So tomorrow's Sunday, having the day off. Okay, I am here in New Zealand, just chilling with my mum, making sure she's okay, keeping an eye on her. She's going through chemo at the moment. We're in a Airbnb with a magnificent view of a working harbour. I'm from New Zealand, so I'm sitting at the coffee table because I'm not in my natural environment. But my mum is doing fabulously, and she keeps reminding me to tell you, especially at the moment with what's going on in the US, is that 3 days ago was Suffrage Day, the 19th of September in New Zealand is Suffrage Day, and that is when in 1893, the government of New Zealand passed legislation allowing women the vote. Yes, first country in the world to do so. My however many greats, grandmother has her signature on the petition for that. My mother, because of her services to community, was awarded several years ago the suffrage medal. So the suffrage movement is pretty powerful in my ancestry, and I am so blessed for those women that went before. Very similar to in the US, how the women to make a protest in Congress wore white. White is the colour of the suffrage movement. Okay, getting on to other news. Okay, pointed out by Gary and David the other day from Twin Tarot. They mentioned my readings and the fact that the health event that I keep seeing with Trump, I have kept saying that it was tied to the Michonne case, the ruling on the Michonne case, which has been delayed and delayed and delayed, and that's why the health event. I'm running out of time, but I am wondering whether it's actually going to happen after the election because the ruling on the Michonne case, the sentencing has been moved till after the election. It's really hard to do time readings in tarot and in channeling because, as I always get reminded, there is no clock or calendar in the universal energy. So I try and link it to an actual event, and that particular event keeps getting delayed. So we'll see how it plays out. I just know that it's coming, it's circling him, but whether it happens within the next 40-something days before the election or afterwards when he loses, I'm just going to point that out. I just wanted to let's see when it happens. Okay. And as I was thinking about that and talking about that, his emotional breakdown and his complete and utter downfall. So it's very possible that when he loses bigly at the election, he'll have the emotional breakdown and it just goes downhill from there. Okay, what I want to have a look at. Okay, what am I looking at? Oh, I might actually, one little US thing, the Georgia election officials. So emails have been released by a spy in the camp, if you want to put it that way, have been released that clearly show the Georgia election officials. There is a majority Republican on the panel plotting um, fraud in the state of Georgia. Now, the reason why I say plotting fraud is that they're saying that the emails were about how they will identify fraud, and they were talking in the present tense for votes that haven't even been cast yet. So it's almost like they were going, okay, well, what are we going to consider is fraud? Now, the election board made a ruling. I think it was 4-2 or something along those 3-2 or something along those lines, that gave the election board the power to dispute ballots, to dispute results. So it's almost what's happening is they've given themselves the power to dispute ballots that are cast, and at the same time that they're trying to decide, well, which ones are we going to dispute? How can we term it as fraud? So what's happened in the last couple of days is the Georgia election officials have now also voted to hand count votes and compare them to the machine count. Well, if that's not something to try and, again, first of all, delay the vote count, delay the certification, it also opens itself up for declaring particular votes of fraud, and therefore they don't match the machine. So therefore, it just gets really, really, really messy. Now, I must admit, in Australia, we have compulsory voting, and our votes are hand counted, but they are hand counted, overseen by two individuals, independently uh, bought in election vote counters. They get paid for counting the votes, but overseen by two at any given time. And what happens is, and they get recounted if it's a close election. So they're overseen and put in piles of, say, 100 for each candidate, and then those piles are then collated together. So we don't actually use machine voting. All in Australia, we don't use machines to cast the vote. We don't use machines to count the vote. But I want to have a look to see, after all that, what are the Georgia election officials up to? Come on down. Now, remembering now that this has been exposed, they're out in the open. How's it going to go for them? Queen of Wands. Okay. So female bringing forth a new plan, a new message. Oh, there's my Harris card on the bottom. I have read many, many times on the Fano Willis case. Now, don't try and correct me on the pronunciation, because no matter how I pronounce it, I get told that it's wrong. The Willis Rico case. And I have read again and again and again that it's going to take Willis to step aside before that case goes forward. So please don't howl me down on that. But if you want to have a look, either put her first name or her surname in the search option. But we do have a female figure here bringing forward a new message, a new information. I think the latest voting to hand count went 4-1 for the election officials, and the one was a female. So she's bringing forward a message. She's putting out the warning. Ooh, here, and they may find them, the election official panel, given what's come to light, may find themselves facing a legal case, prosecution. At the base, money is always involved. The oligarchs, so the energy that the election officials are stewing in, is, I would bet pounds to peanuts, that they have been paid in the past to bring this plan to fruition, the plan of disrupting the election process, disrupting the counting of the votes and the certification. So in the past, they have brought this plan forward to fruition. Oligarchical money at the bottom. Crowning this reading is the mercenary. So they've basically sold themselves to make this decision. The three, possibly four on the panel. So the immediate future is packing up the truth and moving forward. I'm going to say there's going to be a court case here. Externally, well, there are 5 of them fighting back and forth with the messaging that they're trying to get out there, fighting each other. Internally, actions are going to have consequences. First of all, they internally are weighing up the consequences of their action, but I do feel there will be a court case here, and there will be certain elements of it facing justice, hopes and fears. Yeah, it's about how do we steal the election? How do we juggle the votes to our advantage and wreck the ship on the rocks? The outcome, the abuse of power, the win at any cost, the stealing, the betrayal, something surprising coming forward out of left field that will bring protection. Okay, I want to ask a bit further. As we've got this Knight of Swords bringing the truth forward, putting the truth on display, a harsh truth coming forward for certain election officials for the benefit of the United States. There is a whistleblower in their ranks, absolutely going to bring about a downfall, and then we're going to move on to moderation. Oh boy, and Harris is on the bottom. They're going to try and manipulate and steal to bring about a Harris loss. It's what they're going to do. It's not about actually finding fraudulent. It's about lying and stealing to manipulate the outcome to bring about a Harris loss. Oh boy, it is a crossroads moment. The snake is being exposed, and they're going to find themselves in being stopped and then a new beginning. So I'm just going to leave you down there while I shuffle. This is how I keep my cards upright. My very, very first mentor said to me, there are enough negative cards in the deck to come through. All the new messaging coming forward, and it's the best of democracy. The best of democracy. Okay, so show me these election officials on this panel that have shown themselves to not have democracy at heart. Who are they appointed by? Oh, they're going to be stopped. And then we've got the Justice card. They're appointed by Kemp and Raffensperger. How's this going to play for them? Only have to look at the other election officials that have found themselves in clink in other states. What's going to happen? Oh, walking away, 3 of them walking away, and new boundaries set up, new guardrails, as Marianne would call it. Yeah, how's it going to go for them? Oh, Sword of Truth. Sword of Truth will be unsheathed. So show me how. Oh, running out of time. 40, was it 47, 46 days? Something like that. But what's going to happen with these corrupt Georgia election officials? I'm going to call it how it is, corrupt Georgia election officials. What's going to, going to have to defend their position. That's their challenge. About the contracts and agreements that they made in the past, 3 of them working together, because it's a 3-2, 3 of them working together, agreements that they made. Crowning this reading, information is going to be brought forward. New information is going to be brought forward. I don't think we've seen the end of this. Immediate future. Betrayal. I was going to say heartbreak loss, but it's not. I'm just getting betrayal. Not so much, for them, again, 3, but also betrayal by them. And 3 swords. I think all 3 of them are going to face legal action. There is a money trail here externally. Internally, where they feathered their nests, They're going, hopes and fears, they're going to be seen for what they have done. They're going to find themselves exposed, and it's a very uncomfortable position. The outcome, I think they're going to be just simply made an offer they cannot refuse. 3 of them made an offer. They had taken the toadstools here. They had accepted the poison chalice. This may start out as a court case, but it may move straight into literally step down before you get yourself in too much trouble, as they face this harsh truth that's undeniable. And we've got an ending and beginning brought about by a prosecution. The prosecution, they're bringing it. They have control of this, and there is strength in their case. Again, we've got an offer being made, the justice system out of left field, as their manipulation is exposed. Yeah, okay, I would not be surprised at all if the 3 step down. There's more to come out about their actions. There's more to come out about. There is a spy in the camp. I don't know that they know who it is. I think information has already been gathered that we don't know about. And they're going to be made an offer they cannot refuse. Okay, love to you all. Catch you shortly.